Hello, welcome to Trinity Lutheran Church. My name is Pastor Kathy, and we are part of the ELCA. I'm so glad that you chose to join me here on this daily devotion during Lent, which, as always during this Lenten season, comes from John W. Stevens' Because Grace, a Lenten devotional. So in the beginning of this devotion, each day, and this day is no different. Oh, this is for Saturday. How can I possibly forget? It's Saturday, March the 12th, the first week in Lent. And we begin with a scripture reading, and that is from Luke chapter 21, verses 34, continuing on into Luke 22, verse 6. And I will read from the Amplified Bible. Again, I'm so thankful that you're here. This is Jesus speaking to his disciples, to you and to me and to the 12. But take heed to yourselves and be on your guard, lest your hearts be overburdened and depressed, weighed down with the giddiness and headache and nausea of self-indulgence, drunkenness and worldly worries and cares pertaining to the business of this life or the busyness of this life, and lest that day come upon you suddenly like a trap or a noose, for it will come upon all who live upon the face of the entire earth. Keep awake then, and watch at all times. Be discreet, attentive, and ready, praying that you may have the full strength and ability, and be accounted worthy to escape all these things taken together that will take place, and to stand in the presence of the Son of Man. Now in the daytime Jesus was teaching in the porches and courts of the temple, but at night he would go out and stay on the mount called Olivet. And early in the morning all the people came to him in the temple to listen to him. Now the festival of unleavened bread was drawing near, which is called the Passover. And the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to do away with Jesus, for they feared the people. But then Satan entered into Judas, called Iscariot, who was one of the 12 apostles. And he went away and discussed with the chief priests and captains how he might betray Jesus and deliver him up to them. And they were delighted and pledged themselves to give him money. So he agreed to this and sought an opportunity to betray Jesus to them without an uprising, in the absence of the throng. And that is the word of the Lord. And now we will listen to the devotion. I am not reading this as if this was me. This is me reading Pastor John's words. I perform sleight of hand magic, and one of the common phrases we say is, watch. If one looks away at the crucial moment, the moment of astonishment, the moment the magic trick loses some of its power or charm, when you look away at that moment, you miss the magic. If one is not paying attention, the power of illusion is shattered. Not because it was done poorly, but it wasn't seen. The plot thickens in this scripture passage as we watch Judas taking part in the role to hand Jesus over to death. The plot thickens as we are told to watch and pay attention, to be on guard so that our hearts are not weighed down. What a powerful section of scripture, and one that we can take to heart as we start to get to the heart of Lenten days. Paying attention leads to seeing our God active in our midst. There's a passage here that I miss almost every time I read it. That is, unless I'm paying attention. Luke writes, at night he would go out and spend the night on the Mount of Olives, as it was called. At night, Jesus would go and spend the night on the Mount of Olives. Or as I read it, Jesus withdrew to pay attention to God. How do you pay attention to the Creator? How do you pay attention to what God is calling you to do? How do you pay attention so that your heart is not weighed down? One way to pay attention is to journal about what is weighing you down. Journal about what you feel God is nudging you to do. Journal about how you might connect with the Creator. Pay attention and know that God is paying attention to you. Every Wednesday during Lent at 7 p.m. we gather in the sanctuary for a midweek Lenten service, a service of healing and reflection. And we take a few moments and just sit in the silence. And we encourage people to, when the thoughts come to you, because they do, when thoughts come to you, hand them to God, and God will keep them for you. There's nowhere else that you need to be. Right here, just right here. And to sit with the pioneer of our faith, Jesus, sitting across from you, from each one of us. We take time to pay attention. I encourage you, I encourage me. We are encouraged to do that this Lenten season, and that is a prayer for this Lenten season, that we pay attention to what God is doing. We end each daily devotion with the haiku prayer poem. I watch for you, God. Open my eyes to see you out there in the world. Out there in the world, help me watch for those in need. Entertain angels. Entertain angels who come when I least expect. Help me watch, oh God. Thank you for joining me here today. Let's watch for God. Let's pay attention to what God is doing this day. Blessings to you. And tomorrow there is no Lenten devotion because Sundays are not a day of Lent. Sundays are a little Easter. We'll be back again Monday. Blessings to you.